I love taking this position online because you have people who don't understand what's going on, but they know what they're supposed to say and how they're supposed to act and the outrage they're supposed to exude towards you, but they don't exactly know the problem or the issue or why people are saying this. They don't know why people are moving to gotcha games, gooner games, and hell, games where there's even a mid female character, right? And why they're moving away from AAA companies. And at first it was like, well, I mean, they are afraid to make beautiful women in the West. But then I've seen that Expedition 33 game, and it's like, okay, they're trying, right? I just generally don't think they know how to. And I'm looking back at World of Warcraft, at the maker of the Draenei, and turns out it was multiple people that created those characters, like multiple people that were trained for like 5, 6, 7 years to make the Draenei race and make beautiful female characters in a game. And I'm just thinking that the Western studios just don't know how to, and they're defending this lowering of a standard using ideology. It's like, what? We don't have to put in time and effort to train our artists to actually make beautiful characters, and people will defend the fact that we're making ugly fucking female characters, that character models are interchangeable with the male characters and NPCs. Yeah, of course we'll do this. I mean, it is so fucking free. So the problem with women in games and why it's killing hype. Let's give this a watch.
Hi, I think I'm starting to spiral here. In every other kind of media, shows, books, movies, we expect characters to be these complex, emotionally layered, and oftentimes attractive people. CD Projekt Red.
No, not particularly, because the human mind has already made the connection that this is fiction, this isn't real. This thing, like what I'm looking at right now, isn't a real female character. So, I mean, you can have a good story, but have just bad characters, like one dimensional characters. Like, this is what anime does. They have one dimensional characters that are put in. But how they express those characters is they put them in interesting situations. Like, I'm looking at older anime. Hell, I'm even looking at older Western shows like Stargate SG-1, right? You have the captain, you have Lieutenant Dave or whatever, the science architect guy. You had Teal'c, which was the quote unquote alien, even though he's not. He's Jaffa and effectively a human. You have Samantha Carter, who is the who is she? The goddamn science nerd. And these are one-dimensional characters, like in D&D, that serve a purpose, and they're put in outlandish situations. They're like, okay, so how would this character deal with this? How would this character deal with this? So no one really looks for complex characters. Like, a mid character is fine, but a bad fucking character will absolutely ruin any fictional media. You know, uh, a character that absolutely destroys your disbelief, like a female character that could take down 7 dudes twice her size, barehanded. Like, that will destroy people's suspension of disbelief because it's just not real. And if it was like, okay, well, it's Mortal Kombat, so they have magic and shit, it'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. But when you had the rings of power plus privilege, and that queen is taking, so just did some screen magic and threw like 9 guys behind bars, with her bare hands. Like, people are like, what the fuck?
Gave us Geralt in a bathtub, and the entire internet said absolute cinema. But when a female game character is hotter, suddenly it's like the studio committed some kind of war crime. And somewhere between 2014 and now, these types of women just started disappearing more and more from our Western games. You know, women who.
And it's because of people who cannot grasp with certain realities, and not only that, they demand you think the same way or say the same things as them. It's like there's people who just do not understand that, yeah, with a demographic that's predominantly male, like, it absolutely makes sense to have a hot female character in a game. I mean, and no one's asking for porn, right? Because it'd make absolutely no sense if, like, Laura Croft from Tomb Raider was butt naked. That'd be like, what? Like, there's some wiggle room, but see, these people operate off of extremes. It's either it's pornographic or it's a man in a wig, and they're like, okay, well, I have this ideology that, and I have this world view, so I'm gonna make the ugly female character just to quote unquote challenge norms. It's like, you're not challenging a damn thing. You're not getting my money. And enough people are thinking like me, where it's like, yeah, I want hot female characters, or you're not getting my fucking money. Enough people are thinking that way that literal studios are going bankrupt, and they don't know why. Like, you get Concord, you had ugly fucking characters, unappealing, generic, and people use the cope, oh, well, people just don't like hero shooters. Marvel Rivals comes out, blows the fuck up. Now, why is that?
Who had beauty and charm and mystery, lip gloss, and the ability to just ruin your life with a single dialogue option. So let's talk about the modern female protagonist. How did you feel when I said that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Typically, they're more emotionally walled off. They're vaguely angry. Honestly, me too. They have tactical.
They're masculine. They're masculine. Like, these are people, again, it's odd to get into the ideology because they won't tell you because they know that it sounds ridiculous, but they legitimately believe femininity is weakness and masculinity is strength, right? So that they remove all femininity from fictional characters, right? Characters that do not exist, by the way, and they make them hyper masculine. They give them the masculine features, masculine looks, and they act like. And if you say anything about this, they come after you. And it's like, my brother in Christ. I'm willing to give you my money. I ain't giving you my money for whatever the fuck this is. And I know why they're doing it. You know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it. We all know why they're doing it, but they have to play this charade of like, well, why do you care? It's like, well, I care because you care. Like, you had to act. I've seen the actress of this character. You had to put in time, money, and effort to make them ugly. Like, it is impossible to make them this ugly unless you put in time, money, and effort to do so. So yeah,
Vaguely angry, honestly, me too. They have tactical everything, tragic backstories, but a lot of times won't talk about it with you. Muted color palettes, and no cute hairstyles or makeup or.
like this looks ridiculous. Like, again, it's like they have actually no idea how to make beautiful female characters. They make this, and and people who do not play games, right? Because I need you to understand, these are people who do not play fucking games. Demand you just shut the fuck up and play the game. And it's like, oh, well, the fact that she's not beautiful doesn't matter if it has a good story. And it's like, okay, what if, according to me, if it doesn't have a single hot fucking character, I ain't playing it? Like, I don't need to justify why. It's my fucking money. Like, if I see this, I will come to the assumption that the studio is creatively bankrupt. Either they've been bullied or they let go of any of the talent that actually knew how to make games for gamers, and therefore they're just not getting my fucking money. Like, off this image alone, people are saying Fable 4 is cooked. Like, people know what's going on. And even if what the market thinks is not actually happening, if the market thinks it's happening, then it is happening. Act as if it is, and get this shit off my out of this fucking game, right? Make her fucking hot, for Christ's sakes.
Or makeup or joy, and they normally display more masculine traits. And I'm
Don't
not saying that these characters
we've been
can
over
never
the Abby
work, but
situation.
if they're not done extremely well, the issue isn't just that so many of them fall flat, it's that they don't resonate at all. They're not iconic, they're not aspirational, and they're just not the kind of character you want to think about after the credits roll.
Yeah, they're the type of characters that, the theater kids place in just to stick it to this fictional group of people in their head that they're trying to spite. But you don't make good games, you don't make compelling characters. In fact, you make quite the opposite. You make games that people laugh at, characters people laugh at and don't care to play. Like, I was about to play Youngblood of Wolfenstein, but these characters turned me off the game. Where are you? I hate that I have to look. Ugh. These characters, and it's not that they entirely look particularly ugly. It's just they act weird. They act like children. It takes what's supposed to be a somber setting and just injects current day cringe fest into it. And it takes me out of the game. And it's like, I don't want that.
Want to think about after the credits roll. And just like the women that I obsess over in all my books and TV shows, the smart, complex, stunning characters, I just want to aspire to the character that I'm playing in a game. She should feel powerful and gorgeous and emotionally relatable in a way that makes sense. But most of the leads that we're getting nowadays, they're not memorable. And let's be honest, they're not exactly breaking the internet, okay? At least in a good way.
Well, and again, what's happening is entertainment in the West is becoming creatively bankrupt. So I shit on ugly female characters, but that is one part of the equation. The other part is bad and lackluster story. The fact that they have to throw in every type of gross monetization. The fact that they hire people that legitimately hates the consumer, they hate the IP, they hate what they do, but they demand the position and they demand to take your money. And it's also the fact that these companies are so goddamn big, the left hand doesn't know what the right fucking hand's doing. So to have everything meshed together, you need to have this overarching corporate overlord that's like, okay, this is the direction we're going to go. These are the type of people, and it's also the outsourcing. Like, they outsource storytelling to one group, they outsource the art to another group. They outsource the actual, the gameplay and the creativity of the environment. And at least in some cases, that's where the talent is just the creation of the maps and everything. But everything else is outsourced to groups of people who don't care, who probably got the job off nepotism, right? But they don't make good stories. And there's also an ideological slant to it. Like, they know what the consumer wants, but they hire people that have this ideology that's like, we're not going to give it to them. Like, that's really the only excuse I can have for it. And all these coalesce to making a game like Concord that just does nothing and no one cares.
The characters that really stand out, that make a difference, they've got it all. They've got the looks and the charm and the presence and the personality, and they've got the things that make people care, or at least cosplay. Well, we didn't want to over-sexualize her. Okay, that's fine. I'm on board with that. But somewhere along the way, that turned into she can't flirt, or cry, or be too gentle, or smile too much, or wear makeup. Yes, sorry, I'm gonna hit on that a little bit today. We went from don't objectify her to don't let her feel like a real person.
But the thing is, they're not real people, right? Like, they're literal objects, they're literal pixels on the screen. And Laura Croft isn't real. And again, your mind, the mind of a fully functional human being draws these conclusions, right? The mind of a fully functional human being is like, okay, this isn't a real woman. She's here for this reason. And hey, I like the reason. Like, I like the fact that Laura Croft's hot. Like, it's doing a good job achieving what it is. But then you have these weirdos who don't play games. They have an ideology. They point out a problem. Not that it's a problem that the consumer agrees exists, but they agree. They think the problem exists, and then they elect themselves as the solution, as the representative to fix this fictional problem, and they scare companies and story writers and studios into thinking that no, this is a problem. If you do not agree with that, we will attack you. We'll go after you. We'll label all these these weird social things at you, and you see that the consumer just doesn't care what these people, the type of person that treats a fictional person on the screen. And yeah, they'll give you whatever, like, they'll say whatever, justification. They're like, oh, well, it leads to real world, this, that, and the other, which is some bullshit. Like, it's this, like, everyone agreed when the evangelical Christians treated Grand Theft Auto 5 as if it was a murder simulator. Everyone universally agreed. Everyone who played games and had a fully functional frontal cortex agreed that that was some bullshit. But then the same people that agreed with that are now the people who are like the same people who disagreed with that, right? Are now the same people that agree with this, because for some reason nobody can leave video games the fuck alone. No one can leave fiction and art the fuck alone nowadays. And now we're at this point, like, we're here. And to be fair, like, and I've said this before and I say it again, Anita Sarkeesian was very smart. Like, she made a lot of money. She was invited to the goddamn UN to talk about these things. Absolutely. Like, she was a very smart individual, smart human being. It's the people donating her that are the fucking idiots, right?
Along the way, that turned into she can't flirt, or cry, or be too gentle, or smile too much, or wear makeup. Yes, sorry, I'm gonna hit on that a little bit today. We went from don't objectify her to don't let her feel like a real person. And she can be strong, but not soft, beautiful, but only if it's on accident.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep stopping this video every 7 goddamn minutes. But again, these are the type of people that, uh, like, it's everyone universally agrees that there's a completely different way that men view fiction and women view fiction. Like, these are two completely different ways of thinking, right? In video games, being a male centric audience is going to view games the male way. And it was this way, and this was what made a lot of companies profitable, like in the early 2010s, is because, yeah, you had Mass Effect, where you had an interest, like, Tally, no, what the fuck's that purple alien's name? Tally Zora Voss Normandy. Like, to get with her, you had to go through a long series of quest lines, dialogue options, actually get with the character. When you do, it pays off. Nowadays, most of the, like, love stories are hookups. And I'm gonna shit on Baldur's Gate 3. Like, do I have the right to shit on Baldur's Gate 3? Because Baldur's Gate 3, at least before they added things later, was that it was this whole hookup culture of, oh, you get with this character and they want to fuck, or star. I can't even remember the fucking game. The Bethesda one. that made everyone asexual. Everyone would bang you. Everyone would get with you. And it's like, well, that ruins one, it ruins replayability. And two, it ruins, the character in and of himself. Because they're just set pieces. They're not actual legitimate characters. Like, they have a story, they have a quest line, but do they really have any character? And the answer is no. And we also know that, again, going back to the difference between how men and women view things, the way men view fictional characters is how many fucking push-ups I gotta do to look like goddamn Thor. Whereas when if women views art and views characters, it's like you have Twilight where Belle has absolutely nothing going for her, and she can choose between the hot vampire guy and the hot wolf guy. And okay, she gets confused. She goes with the hot vampire guy, but she has no character. She's effectively a vessel to fill up. Same thing with the woman in 50 Shades of Grey, which I've never watched. Like, oh, you either get with hot rich guy number one, or a hotter, less rich guy number two. She gets confused, bangs guy number three, and then goes back to guy number fucking seven. It's like, we know that these two ways, and again, I'm talking averages, right? I'm not saying every single woman or every single man views things this way, right? But we're talking averages, we're talking marketing, we're talking, the demographic of people that made these things popular, gave these pieces of art a lot of money. I mean, it's easy to draw that line.
Heaven forbid she has feelings and good hair at the same time. And I think about this every time that I get the opportunity to make a custom character in a game. She is always a baddie that has lore. Winged eyeliner, mysterious aura. Every NPC in the game is in love with her. And honestly, they should be, okay? Might have in Baldur's Gate 3. An angel. She walks into a scene and the lighting just poof gets better. Gale starts sweating and Asterion is chomping at the bit. Shadowheart's having some conflictions, and her inventory is even more iconic. She's got 3 cursed rings, an apple, and a morally questionable tiara that she just doesn't want to take off. And it just makes you wonder, because if certain games let you create characters with so much charm and magnetism, why can't games with dedicated female leads do the same thing? Well, what are some of the more recent female leads that we've been graced with? I think about Frey from Forspoken. She can fight dragons and bend the...
I don't think she looked particularly ugly, at least not in this picture, but she's annoying. Like, when she speaks, it's like it's this weird, like, mouth moving technology where the sides of her lips go up to here every time she talks. I mean, it was their attempt to make a Western isekai that falls flat, and meh.
the laws of physics and literally parkour across dimensions. That's super cool. But for some reason, they gave her the most awkward dialogue and had her deliver every line like she was on hold with customer service. On mute. What about Kay Vess from Star Wars Outlaws?
And I say this this is a game that's just not for gamers, right? It's a Star Wars game called Star Wars Outlaws, where you can only rob from the police fucking stormtroopers. You can't shoot and kill the animals. You can't really be a bad guy. And this is a game that's like, oh, well, we're going to name it Star Wars Outlaws, but take away everything that keeps you from being an outlaw, a bad person. And this woman looks like she has a mop on her fucking head. And I've seen the actress of this character. Again, they're putting in time, money, and effort to make them look ugly. Like, if I see the actress and she's hot, and then I see the character that, I guess this is where the person they modeled the face and the character off of looks like this, I assume you just put in time, money, and effort to make them look ugly, and you're not getting my money.
She's a scrappy space outlaw, in theory. in practice, she kind of just plays like she just respawned from a bug and isn't sure where she is or why she's there. Okay, well, what about female Ivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Actually, she was canonically the real one. But you probably wouldn't know that because even Ubisoft was like, dang, that's crazy. Anyway, check out this guy's beard. Or Dragon Age the Veilguard. This game was like 10 years in the oven and some.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this any further. My gripe about one, fantasy in general, two, this particular fantasy game. It's like if a bunch of B tier theater kids came together to look like fictional races, and this is what you get.
Somehow it still came out soggy. It often felt cringy instead of charming, and there really wasn't much mystery, but there was a lot of lecturing. And it's.
Yeah, there's a lot of lecturing, and again, the people that made that, like, made the story, made the characters, actively wanted to spite the consumer and the gamer. Like, they came in with a worldview, right? And it's difficult to explain this, but imagine you're a person with this worldview that has been absolute, like, you believe that this is the way the world is, and you need to spite it however way you want. Like, do you not, like, and there's under no circumstances can anyone convince you otherwise. Obviously, you're going to go into like these companies and try to change them and try to make stories and characters and dialogue to go to effectively spite the consumer and the gamer that you think are the problem, right? And in some cases, these companies hire you specifically for that reason, right? Because they were bullied and attacked by games journalists and told this is what you have to do. And this is why it's a grift, and why my previous statement makes sense that they've identified, they create a problem, then they sell themselves as the solution to this problem, which is why you get consultant companies like Sweet Baby that we know exist and we know messes with games. It's why you get ugly fucking characters that talk about gender identity in a dark fantasy game that no one fucking cares about like this. It's why you get these things.
Companions kind of just got chronically online Twitter bios in fantasy outfits.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is there a single masculine male character or hot female? Like, she's hot, and then she gets attacked, and then she gets all these scars that never go away, even though they have magic. I'm pretty sure this guy's gay. Masculine fucking jawline female character. A Chronari that looks like they're a human cosplaying as a Chronari. I'm pretty sure he's gay. I don't even know about this character, and frankly, fuck her.
I think you get the point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We need female characters with range, with presence, with a little drama, if you will. The girls who made you feel something were not perfect. They were messy and charismatic and complicated in the best way. Sadie Adler from Red Dead 2, her husband literally dies, and she goes, cool, I'm going feral now. And grieving? Yes. Stunning? Yes. Horse girl? Absolutely. But I would let her run me over with that horse. Chloe Fraser from Uncharted. She's flirty and morally flexible and somehow still makes betrayal feel hot. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy. She could literally take down a behemoth in one hit and then quietly make you some soup and ask if you've been sleeping okay. Max from Life is Strange. A super sweet, anxious girl who accidentally rewrote the entire space-time continuum just because she had too many feelings. And honestly, we love a relatable queen. Or Nabooru from the Legend of Zelda series. She leads armies and fights evil, and somehow she still looks like she's posing for a Vogue cover the entire time. Probably my first girl crush. This should...
Now, all these were female characters made by men, composed by, well, obviously the voice actors were women, but they were written by guys who understood what female characters in these positions, how they were, like, they weren't made by theater kids. They weren't made by people with ideology. They're just made by a couple of nerds in their mom's fucking basement that are like, okay, like this is how this character's written. This is how they act. This is the situations they're in. And they again, I don't know. I'm not the one looking into these companies and looking at the scripts or anything, but we can all know like the female characters in the past in games that were some of the best and who was behind their backstories. Like we have this knowledge of foresight to where we can look back and be like, oh, okay, Bayonetta hat was written interestingly. Oh, it was written by some dude in their mom's basement. Interesting. It's like, oh well, these characters. Where are you? Where are you? Where are the eyesores? Like that character was probably written by, I don't know, a diversity hire. You know, she was probably made by actual person, but then had the diversity hire make her character, and then had, you know, consultant companies look after her story and be like, okay, well, we need a backstory about gender diversity. Like, people always argue what the fuck is woke, and my personal opinion is wokeness is the intent. Like, this character wasn't intending to actually be a character, but a caricature for someone like a VTuber or a sock puppet for someone to be like, oh, gender identity, oh. And it and I know a friend who played through this game, skipped all the dialogue, skipped everything, and was like, yeah, the game's fine. You know, I'm the type of guy that doesn't care for the story. They added something that skips all the damn dialogue, and when they did that, it was all right. Like, imagine a story-driven dark fantasy game where it's better if you just skip the fucking dialogue. Like, that's surprising. And again, like all these other characters were probably just written in a boardroom by people, looked over by people who don't understand characters, but they understood what they needed to do to raise their ESG or to get, you know, government grants. And what you get is a game like Dragon Age Velguard, which is like I think there's gonna be like texts in universities telling you how not to make a game, and Dragon Age Velguard will be right there in big bold letters saying, "Do not make this game."
Would not be controversial, but I'll say it. We need to bring back a great male leads. Okay? And not because women can't carry a story, but because we've just like chucked balance off a cliff. It seems like the knee-jerk reaction to underrepresentation accusations became all female everything forever, no notes. And now, after we've gotten so many forgettable female leads, not you, Ellie and Aloy.
Got him.
But with all the others, we've hit this weird place where the audience is already exhausted before the trailer even ends. And unfortunately,
Yeah, it's this way with the new Witcher 4. Like, and it's this way with Interstellar. Like, I've already checked out of those games based off the trailer, based off how they're trying to implement the character, and how they're trying to replace Geralt, which Geralt is just an objectively better character to play in Witcher, but they're trying to move him out, move Ciri in, but they remove all the characters Ciri had in the third one, and just made her Geralt in the fourth one, and it's like, you know, that's not what the consumer wants, but they're doing it anyway. Like when I first seen the Dragon Age Velguard trailer, I was like, yeah, I just don't have faith in BioWare. I'm not going to care, only for it to come out and be absolutely god awful garbage. And it's like I've gotten this down to a science. And hey, I may be wrong sometimes. Like, well, when was the time I was wrong? Like, I guess I was wrong about Baldur's Gate 3. because I knew before the game even released the like the people who worked on like the first act of it are not the people that stayed around the third. Like people were shuffled out at a pace, and I was like, well, that can't make for a good game. And to an extent, it made sense because when Baldur's Gate 3 first came out, it was buggy as all hell, but it still ended up being a good game. And it's like, okay, fair enough. I mean, I still don't care to play it, but a good game's a good game. I knew Oblivion was going to sell because it's a remaster of a pitch perfect game. When was I wrong about a game? I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm legitimately. I guess I was wrong about Anthem, right? Because I actually gave Anthem a try, and because I like the setting, I like the mech suits, I like the powers, and the game looked good. It's just everything else about the game was garbage. I didn't much care for Destiny. I mean, a lot of people did play it with friends, and that's where the appeal was, but I just didn't much care for it.
In the
Mm.
crossfires of this has been Naughty Dog's new IP, Intergalactic,
Yep.
and Ghost of Yote. But when I think about just well-written women in games, what's interesting is some of gaming's best women were not even the protagonist, but they were the scene stealers. Ciri from The Witcher 3 is quite literally the entire reason that Geralt is risking his life across these war-torn kingdoms, and she's this complicated, beautiful, just wild young girl who's somehow still more mature than everyone else around her. Or Yuna from Final Fantasy X, this graceful, selfless, and devastating character who's literally carrying the hopes of an entire world on her back, and then she still apologizes when she inconveniences you. And if that's not being a girl, I don't know what is. Or Midna from Twilight Princess. Alright, she's a little bit annoying at first, but she bullies Link for like the first 30 hours of the game, saves his life, opens a dimensional portal, and then vanishes all with a glowing tear. He never says a word to her the entire game, but she says everything with her absence. Truly a legendary situation. And while Western games are nervously nerfing kind of every trace of femininity from their female characters, Eastern devs are like, yeah, here's a mysterious woman who could kill you and make you cry about it.
Yeah, and I think Eastern games, like games from China, South Korea, from Japan, are going to eventually take over. Hell, a fucking dating sim from Russia is BTFOing most Western. Like a game made by a single guy that's about selling drugs is BTFOing AAA Western companies. And it's like, why is this happening? I don't know why it's happening. I mean, I can speculate. Like, my speculation is the West is just creatively bankrupt and you have market saturation of just these games that just don't tell anything, like Intergalactic, like just Dragon Age Velgar, like prequels, sequels, and remakes that are just don't add anything. Like don't add like what are any new IPs coming out? And okay, like I can think of some, but that's the problem, right? There are some. This isn't the early 2010s when there were many. You know, some stuck, some fell flat, but even the worst ones in the past are objectively better than the games coming out nowadays from Western companies. Like we've gotten to the point where we're completely like not even giving games a chance just based off the trailer, and it makes sense. The trailer is your best foot forward. Like the Intergalactic trailer just looked bad. It sounded like two teenage girls having a conversation, you know. And the Witcher one again, it's like you could have replaced Siri with Geralt, and it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. Like the townspeople wouldn't have reacted differently, you know. And there's this odd idea that if you point these things out, then you must just be want female characters be objectified, and it's like, no, like I know I've played games in the past that had good female leads, and I know how I know how they could do this in a way where people would care, but the companies like they don't know how to do it, or they're scared to do it. I mean, and then that's where we're at. They're incapable, and if they are capable, they're afraid to just make good female characters, and this is the problem. Right? This is what the consumer is seeing.
You're welcome. Capcom? They've been in their iconic woman era since like forever. Resident Evil is one of my all-time favorite series, and Jill is tactical, calm, and easily has the cleanest bob in gaming. Ada is mysterious, stylish,
Wifey.
she might lie to your face, but she's still gonna get a fan cam. Claire is this beautiful, kind, capable woman who takes zero nonsense, and Lady D had like 10 minutes of screen
Fucking
time in
wifey.
Village, and she still owned Halloween for like the next 2 years. They're hot, they're cool, they've got so much range, and you remember them.
Yeah, and they are because people cosplay as them. People buy figures of these characters. Like, they can sell outside of just the game themselves. People bought Resident Evil Village specifically for Lady Dimitrescu. And even though they blew their load at the beginning with her, then after you kill her, it's like, well, it's just, we're going down from here. I mean, that appeal exists in fiction, and these are things that existed in fiction since, like, you know, the Holy Roman era. Like, Thanos and Eros, love and death, has just been a staple of fiction and a staple of even at the time theater and art. But and I said this before, and I'll say this again, right? Because this is an amazing point. Every fucking generation had to face these censors, these people that look at a thing and it's like, no, you are not allowed to look at that thing. You right here are incapable of looking at this and not wanting to flick the bean to a hot female character. So we're going to remove it. We don't trust you. You are the bad guy. Therefore, we'll remove this from you. Every fucking generation of human beings on the planet Earth had, as far as art, had to face these fucking people. And it's just like it's just something we had to deal with back then, and we're dealing with it right now, right? And people are doing exactly what they need to do in these situations and just not giving them their money, right? They're like, okay, I'll give money to Nikkei Goddess of Victory, right? Because it's the art I like. I don't need to justify why to you. Suck my balls. I want it. Like, I want hot female characters. Give it to me now. If you're not going to do it, you're not getting my money. And I also want to build this wall between fiction and reality that people dismantle all the time, right? What you want in fiction and what you want in reality are two completely different things. And in my mind, I'm keeping them separate. But some weirdo is like, no, you're not. You're a gooner. You're not keeping these things separate. And then they flip the fuck out. And how absolutely fucking crazy and retarded do you not think you look to just the average normal adult that's like, yeah, I want hot female characters in my fiction. Like, so what? And you're like, gooner! Oh! Like, do you not think you look retarded to that person? No? Well, I mean, I guess you're incapable of admitting when you're wrong, right? Because you're an American and you can't help yourself. So, whatever.
You want to be them, or you just kind of want them to emotionally damage you just a little bit. It's the same kind of energy with Monster Hunter Wilds. They dropped a couple of composed, stunning women, and the internet instantly started to cosplay. They're expressive and graceful, and they've just got that magnetism about them. And that's why the boys are in love, the girls are in love, and I am in love. And then we've got From Software, who just casually releases the most haunting, elegant women in modern gaming like it's nothing. The doll from Bloodborne, our favorite Victorian comfort character. She's soft-spoken.
Wait, but isn't she like a... Isn't Now, I mean, my Bloodborne lore is kind of meh, but I mean, isn't she a sex doll modeled after an actual person by, I call him Father G, I think. I can't really remember his name.
Spoken, she's gentle, and she definitely knows more than she's letting on. Or Lady Maria, tragic, terrifying character with perfect posture, and 10 out of 10, I would let her fight me again. Or Ronnie from Elden Ring, who I was quite literally on my knees for, and I made sure to do every single step of her quest so I could serve her as me Elden Lord. Or Melina,
Oh
Melina was so
God.
glowing and quiet and just sad. And then when she leaves you at the site of grace, like, my work here is done. And you're just devastated, and you're just sitting there all by yourself, alone. And
But what about Dark Souls 1? Like, well, what about the damn dragon lady with the scythe? Or, what's the Gwendolyn? Not Gwendolyn, that's the femboy. Guinevere? Is the big giant test mommy, dommy, mommy? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm getting your point, but what about the greats?
your little tunic. These ladies do not need exposition dumps or 80 cutscenes. They just show up and drip elegance, drop one line of vague sorrow, and then next thing you know, you're obsessing over cosplays and fan art for like the next month. I say
Yeah, and that's also the thing, right? It's like, oh, we need this entire cutscene talking about this thing instead of just showing us the thing. And this is another reason why they infantilize the consumer. And to the point where it's almost spiteful. It's almost like, no, we cannot trust you, the consumer. You are the bad guy. Like, screw you. And it's like once you get to this point, it's like you're afraid to make money. Like I have cash in hand and it scares you to death. You're like, oh no, I can't make money off you. I'm sorry. I have an ideology that I care more about than making fucking money. It's like, okay, buddy, fine, fucking be that way. And it's almost sad, but it's the way it is.
say all of this because femininity is not outdated. It's not shallow, and it's not something that you need to water down for the story to be taken seriously. It's range. So please let women be cute and manipulative, kind and a little chaotic, soft but have sharp teeth, pretty, powerful, emotionally devastating, and the reason the protagonist starts journaling in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, but they can't do that because it takes effort. And the problem is their risk and effort adverse. Like, they could make an interesting female character, but if they do that, then the journalist will flip out, the journalist will cry, this, that, and the other. The weirdos on Twitter will flip out, say, "Want like the very people within their company with an ideology will flip the fuck out, even if it's what the consumer wants. Even if the consumer is like, yes, if you give me a hot female character, you will get my money." Like these people will unionize against the company and be like, "No, you're not allowed to do this because we have an ideology and you hired us. Oh, and you hired the HR lady who thinks the same way we do and filled the company with us. So now this is yet another risk you need to take, above the risk associated with even making a game. And then this is why games cost so fucking much money and take so long to make. Above the outsourcing and all that, is because you have these risks, like all this risk management within the company. And again, even if it's what the consumer wants, you're not supposed to give it to them. Because then, of people who do not care for the consumer or the IP or gaming, will go after you.
Because femininity is Zelda, steadfast and radiant and standing between her kingdom and ruin with nothing but hope and stubborn grace. Or Triss, who's clever and compassionate and plays politics with you with a super soft smile that just makes you kind of forget that she's winning. Or Bayonetta, who's playful and provocative and treats every battlefield like a runway and then never manages to smudge her lipstick. Or Lightning, who's a beautiful, guarded, and grieving character who carries the entire weight of the world in 6-inch heels. And when female characters are done right, they're not flat or abrasive or weak. They're actually narrative gold. They have tension and softness that stabs, or beauty as a weapon. Let's let women be gorgeous and terrifying, sweet and strategic, gentle and unhinged. Let them be feminine again.
Yeah, but you know that's not going to happen. I mean, okay, it will happen, but with like, you know, Eastern devs, like Western devs, they know they can do this. They have the ability to do this. It's just they're either not allowed or people, you know, will not allow them. People with ideologies will not allow them. And when that happens, you just get blatant bad products that achieve nothing. Like you get mass produced corporate products that no one cares for. The bald one hat and his minions approve this statement. On God, man, Asmongold be going on the fucking tirade through these videos. Welcome to the internet and the power of Asmon. Please use your new power responsibly. Roach King watches watch this with 5,000 people on Asmon's Twitch stream. Bravo, well said, love that. You're so right. I miss feminine characters in gaming and media overall. There is power in femininity, not just giving women masculine traits. Yeah, like you think like the majority of grown women on the planet Earth. It's just these weird losers are now in the gaming industry and in entertainment. And if you say this to them, they will go against you, yell after you. It's like what people are not allowed to have differing opinions or anything. Otherwise, you are attacked. Come from Zach's stream, but you made some good points playing your game video so that you get some dosh from this vid. You deserve it. You're about to explode with views and subs. Roach King sent us. Vegeta, what does the scooter say about the subscriber count? It's over 9,000! I couldn't agree more, sis. I want to be hot in games as a female. The fuck is wrong with attractive female characters? The uglifying of female characters gotta stop, yeah. And people, like, see these happening. Like, a war on femininity and art and entertainment. And you don't have to agree with it, right? But again, it's not for you. Like, you're not the demographic. I'm the demographic. We are the demographic. And that should just be fine. Like, what is this weaponization of disgust that everyone wants to do? It's primarily American and primarily Karens that have nothing better to do that has this idea that, oh, well, we need to weaponize our disgust against everyone and everything we don't like. And now it's hitting attractive female characters in games. Completely agree with your video. I love it when women in video games are allowed to be women without having to rude and or simply put a girl boss. Thanks for the video. Exactly. Strength and grace, strength and femininity, strength and being supportive too. Thanks for voicing this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a single person. I mean, again, I wish I can see the dislikes, but YouTube wants to treat you like you're 5, even though you can see the dislikes on your video if you go into your studio creator. But anyway, like, no, this is a good video. I mean, well, what else do you want me to say? Like, yeah. Anyway, peace.